sak.
Du skulle ha skrivit det här.
Jag frågade vilken tid är det demonstration? Är det imorgon
eller? Det är väldigt enkelt. Jag borde ha haft en... Och så fick jag en grej.
Okay, and welcome back to the Rocknrollsailor Journal. We're meeting up with the Swedish crew of this absolutely gorgeous ketch. And these people are with an organization that is basically sailing from Sweden to Gaza in protest of the Israeli blockade of the Gaza fishermen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm here with...
My name is Ferry Sarpushan. I am from Gothenburg in Sweden. We sailing for the peace to the people in Palestine, and we try to break the blockade of Gaza's people by Israeli army, apartheid army, I can tell you.
Yeah. And how did you become involved in this movement?
Yeah, it's talking about peace for the people, not peace for the military action. We don't like any military action. We like to bring about the children and women in Gaza. They have been blocked and more than 10 years. They can go out and fishing. They can out take any food for self and for the children.
So they're basically being militarily denied the right to fish at all.
At all.
They cannot go out to the harbor and put out their nets and bring in fish for their own people.
Exactly.
And what is the reasoning behind this? What does
the Israeli government tell? They are terrorists, but their country is the unoccupied. And when the Oslo deal happened, the Gaza people could go on the sea and fishing for self.
Mm-hmm.
But after 2005, the change situation in the Gaza. Another party take the power in the Gaza city, and then come the Israeli government to block all of the people in Gaza Ramsar.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 2 million people.
Yeah.
But they can't take food in the country, but they pay the tax to the Israeli government.
Mm-hmm.
And Israeli government responsibility for the
well-being of the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically their excuse for the blockade is saying that all those fishermen are actually terrorists or fugitives or something.
Yeah, they tell the people of the Gaza is the terrorist. All of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the baby she or he is 2 months or 1 day or 50, 60 years. For them is all the people in Gaza are the terrorists, and everybody to try to help the people in Gaza, they think they are the terrorists too. But we have any weapon on board. We're going with peace. We're going with heart. We try to break the blockade of the Gaza city and Gaza Ramsar.
So you're actually going to take these boats up to the military blockade and try to breach it.
Yes.
As symbolically.
The symbolic.
Yeah.
And we want the politician in all the world must think again about what happened in Gaza. What happened between 1940 and 1945 in Deutschland.
Yeah.
And it's the same. This happening in the Gaza just now.
Yeah. So it's basically the victim becoming the perpetrator 60 years down the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that.
Yeah. No, that's what it feels like to me as well. You know, it's sort of like.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's quite sad to see. You know, it's terrifying.
Yes.
You know, because of course if you terrorize a community and they fight back, and then you start calling them the terrorists. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, you create an enemy and then you go complain that they are your enemy.
Yeah,
you know?
but you can think about it. The Israeli army have the submarine, they have navy, they have the which kind of the airplane, and they have the robot system or the another kind, but they can't tell if you have any knife in your hand, you are terrorist, but Israel is not the state terrorist. Israel is the state terrorist. If we find any terrorist in the Gaza, they can be civilian. So they want to protect self with the Israeli army. But they want back the self country also. The Palestinian country, Palestinian land.
But to me, it's puzzled me all the time that basically they're like, they're brother people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They come from the same regions. They basically have their roots in pretty much the same culture, everything. You know.
Of course.
And then it's like a sibling rivalry that is just gone totally out of hand. You know.
Yeah. You know, they have living together more than 1,000 years.
Yeah.
What happened after 1940? What happened after 1948? Why they could push out the people from Palestine? More than 7 million people pushing outside. They're refugee in the Jordanian or in Syria or all the world.
Yeah.
So that's trouble for the people in the Gaza just now. They are the blockade more than 10 years. More than 10 years. It's not possible for the politician to sitting down and thinking about it. What happened with the people? What happened with 2 million people? How can they answer on the next generation for the child? What happened in the Gaza in the 1999 or after 2005 or 2018?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Hi. We have another member of the crew. How many of you are aboard actually?
On this boat we are 8.
8
Right
crew.
now. We change members all the time. So I think 2 is leaving in here in Amsterdam, and we get some more people. So they come and go as long as we
Yeah,
can.
so people come and join for parts of the journey as they have time and budget and everything.
And I was going from the beginning, and I'm going to the end. I think we are 4. You, me, and 2 more went from the beginning to the end. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it takes at least a group of 8 people to safely sail and manage the boat, of course.
This boat, but we have 4 boats.
You have 4 boats in total.
Yeah. So this is the large Swedish boat, Freedom, and there is the Norwegian boat, Alabda, and then we have 2 small boats from Sweden too, Myreed and Palestine.
But they're not here at the moment.
They are coming today.
They're coming today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, excellent, great. And have you been involved for a long time?
No, actually, I involved in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict since I was 16 for political party in Sweden. But in Ship to Gaza, I actually jumped in the last minute because I knew the captain on this boat, and he said, "Come on, let's go." I was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Yeah. So this is like your first boat travel.
Yeah. Ever.
Ever. Okay. And you doing okay?
Yeah. Well, kinda.
And how long is the journey expected to take? Because it is quite a stretch.
2 more months.
2 months.
So we have been 2 weeks. We went from Sweden to Denmark to Germany, and now we're in Amsterdam, and then we're going to France. Last stop is Italy before Gaza.
Okay.
gav buss till Karl XIV Johan.
Oj.
Som är
Intressant alltså.
något udda skulle jag säga. Fotare. What?
The Coast Guard.
The Coast Guard.
Yeah. Have, two
One
times.
time was in Germany.
One time in Kiel.
Yeah.
And then one time when we entered, before we got to Amsterdam.
But we
Then they have come to us
visited three
in the
times.
harbor.
In harbor.
Yeah, but at sea there was only two. One Germany, one.
But they come inside and we look in.
Yeah, yeah, of
have
course,
any
yeah,
weapon
yeah.
or
Yeah.
any kind of the
Yeah.
ammunition with us. It's very important to people know about this.
Yeah, but I think they did their job, and they were asked, at least in Germany, they said they were asked by somebody
No.
quite high
Yeah.
that you should keep a check on these guys,
Yeah.
us. So this is. But I think they are trying to do their job. The guys will
Of
come.
course,
Yeah.
they're not.
good
Somebody,
for us.
And they behaved very well, and I'm very happy with it.
not one of them.
No,
One
okay,
of them,
one of them. But
screamed like, "I hope the Israelis will drown you all, motherfuckers."
yeah, but that wasn't a coast guard or the police.
No.
It was a lock.
In
Ah,
harbor.
it wasn't
was
a
harbor.
lock. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
has nothing to do with
That's
that.
true.
This guy was in harbor.
But he as a official representative of the German
The
state
German.
should not
No.
say such thing
Exactly.
when he's working.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other ones, they're not just doing their job. They
Yeah.
check our passports, but even if it's a lot of times, 3 times in only Amsterdam, check our passports.
Was it good? They check us. We haven't any weapon, any
Yeah.
ammunition.
They can't see that, but anyway,
can't see.
we don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they can come and look. It's good actually. And in Italy, I think they are going to search through the boat really good because it's the last port before Gaza. So it's 2 weeks on sea.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah.
Because then they know we only have kitchen knives and we will throw them overboard when
Yeah.
the Israelis come, so they can't claim that we had even knives on the boat.
But
So.
they might think this is a weapon. If I use this in the wrong way, it could be
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
No, we are throwing everything overboard. It's better.
We make with us the plastic maybe.
Plastic, yeah, we can buy plastic
Yeah.
knives.
Yeah.
Because in 2010, when they killed 9 activists on Mavi Marmara, it was the same flotilla that's going now to. The Israelis killed 9 activists on that boat, and then they showed pictures of knives they had with them, like they were terrorists.
Kitchen knife.
Kitchen knives. So that's why it's important to throw everything overboard.
They also showed these kind of things to protect you from bullets, the vests,
Yeah.
and said it was military equipment. How can threaten somebody with a vest?
Yeah.
No,
You may protect yourself with a vest, but you can't.
that's the whole idea, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was military equipment, so it was bad. For-
So for them it was a reason, and what happened actually with these 9 people? Did they
They boarded the
they
boat,
boarded the boat?
and then they just shot him.
They shot them point blank,
Yeah.
unarmed people.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way down mostly.
They came from a helicopter.
With ropes.
Yeah.
And
So
then
they abseiled from the helicopter to
Yeah.
board
Yeah.
the boat.
Once they took the ship, they didn't start killing people afterwards. It was in the process of doing it.
In the process of boarding the ship,
Yeah, yeah.
they shot the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, several of them, yeah.
Many more were shot too, but they survived. 10th
Yeah. Some were
he
wounded.
died later, right?
One died later.
One died later.
One
So
So
it's
it's
10
altogether
people killed.
10.
Yeah.
And how many people were on board in total?
Oh, that
Few
was
hundred, I
many. It was many
was a
ships.
big ship.
I think was it?
Ferry.
There was a Swedish ship too that time.
Yeah, but
This was from
But
The-
this
the-
was from Turkey.
the Turkish
Yeah.
ship was where they were killed, yeah.
Yeah. But there was a Swedish ship going too, but they didn't kill anyone.
and they only thought that they were Turkish people on this boat. But
Yeah.
then they found out that there was some white people as well.
So they also found on these soldiers, they found a book with the activists, pictures of activists who they should concentrate on. So they know very well who is going.
Yeah, so there's been like basically people being targeted specifically
exactly.
within the organization.
Yeah.
We don't know that for sure. Some people were shot in the back, some people were shot from the front, and it's very difficult to know exactly what went on there.
The only thing we know that is that they have an eye on us. Like that's it.
They know
They
who
know
we are.
They know exactly on which is going to which front, who is going to which front.
Yeah. And so these flotilla campaigns have been going on for a number of years already. Then
This was in 2010 when they killed people.
and that was that the first armada or?
That was it.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the first.
Yeah.
That
But I thought yeah, maybe it was the first. Yeah. Fint att ha vikt också.
So hi, you're also part of the crew.
I'm part of the crew. I'm Karen DeVito. I'm helping to sail the boat. I will sail as far as I'm told to sail, but I won't be sailing all the way to Gaza. I've done that already, or tried, on the Canadian boat to Gaza, the Tahrir. And we got to within 40 miles of the Gaza coast, and we were intercepted and kidnapped by the Israeli military. The boat was taken to Ashdod, and we were questioned for several hours through most of the night, and then imprisoned.
Imprisoned for trying to break the blockade.
Imprisoned for what they called it was entering Israel illegally. We did point out that we were kidnapped. So it wasn't our will that brought us there. The
So
military kidnapped
basically, what happened? They set a boarding party on your boat, and
Well, they sent out 2 really big warships. They sent out some fighter jets. Out of the warships came 15 or so Zodiacs with each a dozen or 15 combat dressed soldiers with all kinds of weapons, tasers, everything, and full battle gear. And they had a scissor lift on one of these. It was quite rough, and they had a hard time boarding. They water cannoned us, and so when they tried to taser some of our guys, they slipped and fell. We were very careful to be very calm and peaceful, so that nobody thought there was any reason to use weapons. And that's how it happened. They corralled the Saoirse as the other boat, the Irish boat, sailed with us. It was a smaller boat. Ours was the Tahrir was about a 75-foot day ferry from Greece, and we were 12 on that boat. That's the limit for it being called a pleasure boat. Otherwise, there's a different licensing. So 12 on each boat, and the Saoirse was quite a small yacht. They corralled us until we got very close and almost collided. So that's how the capture was made.
and then they towed the boat to.
No, they took command of the boat, put up the Israeli, took down our Palestinian flag, put up the Israeli flag, like a pirate would, right?
Yeah.
Then drove our boat as fast as it would go to Ashdod. Took us off the boat one by one, and to his credit, the Irish ambassador was there on the dock meeting the Irish people.
And what ensued afterwards?
Well, all our belongings were searched. The boat was sort of searched. They just took everything. It looked like it was just thrown around below, all our luggage open and belongings everywhere. So we could gather some of our things, and then it was x-rayed and searched 5 or 6 times before we got to prison, and we were searched several times before we were taken to prison.
You were X-rayed?
And everything was x-rayed, but we were not. Some people were strip searched. They didn't strip search most of the old ladies, which is me. I didn't get that special treatment. But everything in your belongings was looked at, and linings of suitcases pulled out, everything, many times. And then it was November, so there was frost on the ground when we were taken to prison, and the windows were all open. They're unreachable. It was very cold. The next day, we got blankets. Next day we got blankets, and the next day we got sweatshirts, and so we felt a little better, and we were there for 3 days and then deported.
Forcefully deported.
Well, forcefully.
Put on a plane and...
We, no one had to force us.
Yeah, yeah, of
We were
course.
glad to
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
And then put on a plane. But that also took a lot of hours, and taken through the back of Ben Gurion Airport. We had trained for this, and we were told some things we could expect, and that we could get attacked as we were taken to the airport. And through the airport, that people could try to beat us or spit on us. Or this did not happen. I was taken by myself, which has, when that happens, it's uncomfortable because you're not with the people you were with. So each nationality was treated differently because their embassy, the Canadian embassy, arranged for my deportation, and my husband bought my ticket. So they said, let's do this now before they change their minds.
Yeah.
So we did all that. I spent about 7 hours at the Ben Gurion Airport in a holding area and was searched about 5 more times. But this is the normal treatment of Palestinians every day. In the West Bank, all the checkpoints, there's no freedom of travel. There's one university that's cut in half by the wall, and so it takes a couple of hours to go from one part of the campus to another. This is just daily Palestinian life.
Yeah.
All these searches and delays. So it was a small thing. We did what we could do to break the blockade and to show the world what it's like.
Yeah. And the vessels, they were confiscated?
Yes,
or?
the vessels were confiscated. Ours had medical aid with a shopping list from the hospital in Gaza. It was really almost out of supplies at that point. This was 2011. So we bought about 40,000 euros worth of medical supplies. And most of them very simple things that any hospital pharmacy would have. But we never got word that they received it.
So it was
So the boat-
confiscated along with the
Everything
ships?
on
and,
the ship.
Yeah.
It's now, as I understand, it's in Ashdod, with other ships that have been confiscated from flotillas, and tourists who come for the Israeli experience and the Israeli military experience can come and see these boats.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah, it's a crazy concept. When I heard about that, I thought, how
So
weird.
they're actually using the confiscated boats as sort of a propaganda stunt?
Yeah, kind of
An amusement park.
an amusement park for tourists.
Wow.
You can go over there
That's
and shoot
quite
guns. You can
sick.
go shoot
That's
guns
quite
with the
sick.
IDF. You can go into an sort of a, I think, mock built Arab village and do urban. You can fire guns and you can have the experience.
Okay,
Even kids.
I mean, to me that kind of sounds like you can go to Dachau and pull the switch on the gas chamber yourself.
Well, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that.
You
I don't
know,
talk about it
that's-
in those
that's-
terms
that's
because
kinda-
it's,
that's-
it's so
it's so
inflammatory.
crude. Yeah, it is inflammatory. Yeah.
We need to speak about it in really calm and compassionate terms because you know we don't want to use language that is hyperbolic or too over the top. It makes people afraid. It makes people afraid who meet us, who hear the discussion about it. It shuts their minds down. So we have to say it in a way that people can understand.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
But what we went through is nothing compared to what happens to Palestinians every day, all the time. Not to mention in Gaza, where they're right now being bombarded. Right now. And if you meet Judith on the other ship, she is Israeli, and she tells us that she's a journalist. She tells us that she lives in Ashkelon, and they hear the fighter planes going towards Gaza, going south. And she said, we wait 10 minutes, and then we hear the bombs dropping. And this happens many times a week. And she said, they're not bombing military installations. They're not bombing dangerous sites. They're bombing people. They're not protecting me. I'm quoting her. She says, they are not protecting me. Who are they protecting?
Yeah.
You should meet Judith. She's a very interesting journalist.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
I made an interview with her.
Did you?
It's
Yeah.
it's on Facebook.
Yes. So right now we are sailing again, and our mission has several destinations.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the destination is Gaza. My husband and I won't be on for that last leg. We're helping sail the ship. I've had that special treatment once, and there are people here who really want to do that, and they should do that to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give them the opportunity so they can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
And
else's turn now.
so that's one of the goals. I hope they reach Gaza. I do. That's not the only aim. The other aim is that as we travel through the European ports, we are meeting people. And we're meeting people who know a lot about this, and we're meeting people who haven't had the opportunity to learn about it at all. And sometimes when they ask you questions and you answer them quite straightforwardly about what happens in Gaza, what happens in the West Bank, what is it like for Palestinians in Israel, who don't have equal rights, they have some. Palestinians in the West Bank have a few. Palestinians in Gaza, none. They have no infrastructure, the water system has been bombed, the sewage system has been bombed, their desalination plant has been bombed. Every child in Gaza has post-traumatic stress syndrome. We know this directly because we have a psychologist friend who goes there to help the healthcare professionals who themselves now need help because they've listened to all these tragic stories. So we know this. This is not something that we're hearing from some other source. This is something we actually know. So, we want people to learn more about the situation. After that, once you know, you can't forget that. And once you can't forget that, you will start to read more about it. And then you will speak about it, and you won't be afraid, and you won't keep quiet when someone says Israel has the right to defend itself. You might say, yes, that's true, but do Palestinian people have the right to defend themselves? And how should they defend themselves? And can they decide how to? You will start to ask questions of people who say these things. So this is what we hope. We hope that people will start talking about it in a way that doesn't use too excessive language or that doesn't use medical terms like this or that is a cancer or this political party or that. It's about humanity.
Yeah.
And that also is our goal. We are appealing to the conscience of humanity to look at this tragic predicament, the longest running atrocity or occupation, if you want to call it that, that has gone for 70 years. So through most of the 20th century and right on into the 21st. And the situation in Gaza gets worse by the day. And every time you think, oh, this is really the worst it can possibly get, something happens that's even worse.
Yeah.
So that's why we sail.
Yeah. And so now you're sailing with 4 ships.
4 ships.
Yeah.
2, I guess you could call ships, and 2 are sailboats.
Yeah. Smaller size.
Our little friends.
Yeah.
The Myrid and the Falastina. And they're brave captains. We have all brave captains, 4 brave captains. And crew changes on the bigger ships from time to time.
Yeah. So you're quite an international setup.
We are an international set here. Swedish.
Norwegians.
We had Norwegians here.
Canadian.
My husband and I are Canadians. There are Americans. We have Israelis. We have ground crew that are American.
Palestinians.
And Palestinians. Yeah, we have Palestinians on the other boat. Yeah, it's quite international.
Yeah.
And the Danish have been really involved with this too. They organized a great reception for us in Copenhagen. The people who organized it were with us in the Tahrir project. And they're very active at home on this issue. Every person on these boats is active at home on this issue. And that's the thing. People can do something from home. You don't need to get on a boat and sail to Gaza to make some change. You can be active at home. Even if it's only the level of you're helping out people in your own community.
Mm-hmm.
You can begin there and move on to more international work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? And that's how so many people here got involved. They were involved with the environment. Most of the people here are involved with more than one cause and more than one concern.
Yeah.
Many of us are involved with environmental issues and issues of homelessness and other places where human rights are violated. But this one right now has run so long and has gotten so dire, especially for the Palestinians of Gaza, that we are motivated to
raise awareness,
and appeal to the conscience of humanity.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's kind of natural that, you support different causes because it all ties in together.
It all does.
It doesn't work to be, raising awareness about something far away from you, where at the same time you're being abusive in your own surroundings.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. We get that question. Well, why are you so concerned only about this issue? Well, that's not how any of us operate. We're all concerned about.
There are a lot of concerns,
yes.
but you have to tackle them pretty much one at a time, or divert your attention over them.
People ask us too, why aren't you concerned about Syria? It's a terrible situation, and we say yes it is. The biggest proportion of refugees from there are Palestinians, either refugees of 1948 or 1967. We met them in these ports, and they come to us and they tell us their stories. So when you meet someone who has survived being smuggled on a ship that sank twice with their family and somehow survived, it's different than reading about it in the newspaper.
Oh yeah.
And this is what we're encountering. And they thank us for doing what we're doing. And they meet us with music and song and dance and food and generosity and spirit. It's really amazing. These are amazing people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. To me, those are situations where you actually see that, the human being is a naturally good genius, actually. Because I see so many people that are like, in situations where adversity is like almost insurmountable, and they still manage to get up and smile and be dignified.
Dignity is a thing we notice in all of these people.
Yeah.
But every person deserves to have the capability to flourish as a human being. And when you think about Israeli kids, they have a bright future, but Palestinian kids have almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we think of them when we sail.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, so by now it's Sunday morning. It's like 2 days after I'd done these interviews with these people sailing off to Gaza to challenge the blockade, and I'm like walking past the corner from where they docked up, and there's this graffiti of Anne Frank in the most appropriate modern colors. It's just a beautiful piece of art. And on top of that, it's the whole message in 4 words: just let me be myself. And I mean, crying is inappropriate. It's just not enough to describe what this feels like. Because this person, this character, exemplifies what happens when a population, when a people is singled out for being so-called bad, when just being themselves and just being. When the right to exist is put to question. based on a gender or a DNA or a belief or skin color or whatever. It's just, it's inhuman. It dehumanizes people on both sides, you know, both on the perpetrator side and on the victim side. It's dehumanizing. It is not an option. It's not viable in a future state of being when we are all one race, being the human race. I mean, come on, folks. We're connected. And that face on the side of that building face with that phrase on it, and then listening to that testimony of those people, you know, I mean, taken across the high seas just to go and face that fact where people go like, no, I'm a human, you are human, but you are less than me. And to go like, no, we disagree, those people deserve the right to live just as much as you do. You know, I mean, that is such a powerful message to dedicate your life to. I'm in awe of that. And the world keeps turning. No matter what we do, and yet it matters. Because of that, even more so, what we do, what it is that we are here for. Blessed day to you.